In the 1984 offseason, Michael Jordan was selected third overall by the Chicago Bulls, but history's about to change. A player who he was commonly compared to, Kobe Bryant, is going to be in the draft with him as well, and of course you've also got guys like Hakeem Olajuwon and John Stockton. And in the draft lottery, the Rockets were able to land the number 1 pick, while Chicago landed at 2, and the Mavs landed at 3. So you'd assume that Hakeem, MJ, and Kobe will all be top 3. But we're going to see right now as we enter the 1984 draft. Selected number 1 overall was Michael Jordan. He's going to the Houston Rockets. And the Bulls pick Hakeem Olajuwon, and Kobe Bryant is a Dallas Maverick. We're going to check out the rosters for Kobe and MJ's teams and follow them throughout their careers. Early on, it's clear that Kobe Bryant has an advantage. He's teaming up with a rising star, Mark Aguirre, who's a 93 overall. And the Mavericks already have some solid role players. The Houston Rockets aren't too bad, though. They have Ralph Sampson in addition to Michael Jordan, and Sampson is an 88 overall at only 24 years old. By the end of season 1, it was clear who was getting off to the better start of their career, at least team success-wise, and that was Kobe Bryant. But Michael Jordan individually was ridiculous in his rookie year, and so was Hakeem. Did you all see he won DPOY in his rookie season and made All-NBA first team? But MJ made All-NBA second. He averaged almost 30 points per game in his first season in the league, while Kobe's teammate Mark Aguirre also put up some really good numbers for the Dallas Mavericks and made All-NBA third team. No Kobe, though, on an All-NBA roster. Now, you do see that the Mavericks are the number 2 seed, 59-23, while the Rockets are out of the playoffs. And Kobe, he was actually coming off the bench this season, but something tells me he won't be on the bench for too long. Round 1, Kobe and the Mavs are going up against the Phoenix Suns. Can I really say Kobe and the Mavs? It's really Mark Aguirre and the Mavs. He's the team leader. And ultimately, the Mavericks are able to sweep. And remember, back in the old days, the playoff series were first to 3 wins in the first round. Everything else will be first to 4 wins, but keep that in mind when we're looking at our first round matchups. In round 2, the Mavericks are facing the Clippers, and this is a back and forth series. We're able to get up 3-2 in this one and get out of there in 6. Kobe Bryant is already in the conference finals in his rookie season, putting up some really good numbers in the NBA playoffs. In the conference finals, we're facing the Lakers, and this team is a powerhouse. They're one of those teams, when you load up this era, you know they're going to be a problem. But we get up 2-0 early. Unfortunately, the Lakers take the next 2, and they ride that momentum to win in 6. They're going on to the finals against the Celtics, while we're going into the offseason. But this was a great rookie year from Kobe. It'll be interesting to see if Michael Jordan can take the leap into the NBA playoffs next season. Great year individually for MJ, but the team success, you definitely got to give it to Kobe for year number 1. Heading into player progression, this is a huge offseason. I mean, the Rockets should have a lottery pick, so maybe they could pick somebody up to improve their roster. And for the Mavericks, if they can make any additions around the edges, that could be pretty huge. And it looks like they've got some good role players on their team. The Rockets didn't get too much better, and Ralph Sampson is starting to regress. Luckily, though, Michael Jordan is up 5 overalls, and so is Kobe Bryant. Kobe is an 89 going into this season, while MJ is a 90. Magic Johnson is named MVP of the league. You got to watch out for those Lakers. They got Byron Scott as the 6th man of the year, an absolutely great team. Hakeem Olajuwon also continues to dominate All-NBA first team and a DPOY. Mark Aguirre makes All-NBA second team, and so does Michael Jordan. His scoring numbers are down, but an All-NBA second team appearance along with an All-Defensive first team appearance in year number 2 is nothing to laugh at, man. Kobe Bryant in year 2, his scoring goes up and he goes into the starting lineup. And for Michael Jordan, he just barely misses the playoffs. They were probably like a couple games out of making it. But in round number 1, the Dallas Mavericks have the Utah Jazz. And this Utah team doesn't look too crazy. And with the Mavericks being the 3 seed, this should be an easy series. But ultimately, it definitely wasn't. It's 2-2 in the series, and we're headed to a pivotal Game 5. Remember, Game 5s in the first round, and back in the old days, they're like Game 7s. This is win or go home. And the Dallas Mavericks were able to respond in the biggest game of Kobe Bryant's career thus far. I mean, I guess, yeah, I don't know. Probably some of those conference finals games with the chance to make the finals were bigger. But hey, Kobe Bryant played really well in this one. A very efficient game for him as the Mavericks move on to the second round. They're facing the Portland Trailblazers, who have Clyde Drexler, and this is going to be a tough matchup. They're the number 2 seed, and they just swept their first round opponent. We're tied up at 1 apiece, though. We're up 2-1, so things are going pretty well. It's all tied up at 2-2, and they're able to take the pivotal Game 5. Ultimately, it all comes down to this. We've got a Game 7 with our season on the line. Just like in the first round, we are in a win-or-go-home situation, and we're responding once again. It's a big lead for us early on, and we're able to keep that as we go on to win this game by 15 points. And Kobe Bryant didn't have a crazy game, but he was efficient, 5 for 6, and it was good enough to get us to the conference finals, where we have another battle with the Lakers. They don't even have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He must have retired or something. So maybe that'll make it a little bit easier. They're still the number 1 seed, though, and they're showing that. They got off to an early 2-0 lead, but ultimately we were able to bounce back and take the next 2. Unfortunately, the Lakers took the 2 after that and 1-6, just like last season. Kobe Bryant continues to improve, though, and we should be back next season. The Mavericks should have a bounce-back year. Let's go ahead and let's get to player progression, where hopefully we'll see Michael Jordan get some help. I want to see both of these guys in the mix and competing for NBA championships, and while Michael Jordan has been great individually, he definitely needs some other guys who can step up for him and help him on his team. I mean, look at Kobe and Mark Aguirre, a 93 overall duo. Unfortunately, the Rockets just haven't been able to get Michael Jordan the same help that the Mavs have gotten Kobe. And this season, the Rockets were finally able to break that barrier of not making it into the playoffs. And the Lakers got Terry Porter now, who's the 6th man of the year. And I think last year, they had Brian Scott as the 6th man of the year. And they drafted Terry Porter, so he was the rookie of the year too. It's getting crazy over there in LA. But Kobe Bryant is able to make the All-NBA 3rd team. Michael Jordan, all defensive first. Another great season for him. And we'll be able to see some Michael Jordan playoff action this year as well. The Mavericks went 62-20, good enough for best in the West, while the Rockets, they had a little over 40 wins, and were finally able to make it into the playoffs. In the first round, we've got the Sonics versus the Mavs and the Jazz versus the Rockets. The Rockets will probably have a challenge ahead of them in their first playoff run, while the Mavericks should win this one considering it's a 1-8 matchup. Ultimately, the Rockets don't have a challenge. They sweep, and so do the Mavericks, which means we have a Jordan versus Kobe matchup this early on in the video. This is exactly what I'm here for. Game 1 goes to the Mavs, so does Game 2. I mean, Kobe does have a little more help, but hey, MJ's not using that as an excuse. He's able to take the next 2 games, and we're headed into a pivotal Game 5. This could sway the momentum of the series. It's back and forth, and both teams are fighting for this one. Ultimately, the Rockets are able to get a lead in the 4th quarter and hold on to it, winning by 12 points. This has been a huge playoff run for Michael Jordan, his first time on the biggest stage in the playoffs, and he has definitely played some great basketball. Now we're headed to Game 6. The Dallas Mavericks season is on the line. As the number 1 seed, they could get upset by this Rockets team. And ultimately, in the 4th quarter, we've got a close one. And y'all know I had to hop into this one, man. Because we've got MJ versus Kobe. Kobe's season on the line. We've got to see what goes down. But let me turn off this garbage era filter because we would not be seeing anything that was going down. We'd be seeing it in about 4 pixels. Now we can see it perfectly clear. Mavericks versus Houston. The Mavs are down 2, but they've got the basketball, so an opportunity to tie it or take the lead. And Kobe Bryant has the basketball. This is exactly what I want to see. He gets to the cup and gets gets blocked. The Houston Rockets come up with a huge defensive play there, but can they turn offense into defense and look to put this Mavs team away? No. The ball is turned over and the Mavericks are going the other way. An easy layup down low and the game is tied. What a play by Dallas. Now the Rockets need to score, all tied up with a chance to win this series. They get the ball down low to Ralph Sampson, and he's able to convert on the layup. The Mavericks call a timeout, trying to draw up a play to win this game. This is crazy, man. This is exactly what I was here for. I wanted to see gameplay of Kobe and MJ's teams going at it, and that's exactly what I've gotten. I do not want to see all these timeouts being called. Y'all just called a timeout. Why would you waste another one? I don't understand why 2K can't fix simple things like this, but you know what? It's 2K, man. There's been quite a few glitches that I feel like go under the radar, especially in the My NBA mode. Anyways, the Mavericks take a little while to inbound the ball. Ultimately, I think they need to get this ball to Kobe Bryant. Ultimately, they opt to go to a more experienced vet in Mark Aguirre, who gets to the free throw line. A huge play there from Aguirre with a chance to go ahead and tie up the game. He has a huge night tonight, approaching 40 points. Ultimately, he drains both free throws and the game is tied once again. The Houston Rockets have the ball, and I'd like to see it to go to Michael Jordan. I feel like you can't argue that the ball should be in anybody else's hands, but they turn it over again. The turnovers have destroyed this Rockets team down the stretch, and now the Mavs have a real chance at it. A bad mid-range jumper goes up, and they're able to grab the rebound. Now they can reset it and hold for close to the last shot. I mean, there's a small differential between the shot and game clock. So they're just going to go ahead, hold the ball, and it looks like a play will get into motion here. The point guard gets the screen, and the ball goes down low. Ultimately, it doesn't look like much has happened in there, and there is 1 second left to go. The Houston Rockets call a timeout. Can Michael Jordan make a play to end this game, or are we going to be going to overtime? Ultimately, the ball goes in, and it's a rough look for MJ. It almost went in, though. I mean, kind of. It, rimmed out. I don't know, man. We're headed into overtime, though, so hopefully we can see some more battles between these teams, because so far there has been some great stuff in this gameplay. No buckets from Kobe or MJ yet, though, so that's kind of surprising. But the defense of Dallas was absolutely huge down the stretch in this one as we head into overtime. And the Mavericks are playing well to start it off. They're able to even get a 4-point lead. But the Rockets hit a shot and make this one a close one. They also have the ball now, so we'll see if they can make a play here and tie this one up and make it really interesting. Ultimately, they're going to call a timeout and talk things out, but look who's talking before they walk into the timeout. Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan in their first matchup in the NBA playoffs. It's 114 to 112 here. The Rockets are going to inbound it, and hopefully they'll get it to Michael Jordan. They're trying to set up a play. Usually in 2K, the point guard kind of sits and dribbles for a little bit. But there you go. That's a nice mid-range look. Sampson grabs the board and is able to hit the shot. Ralph Sampson has had some huge plays down the stretch here for the Houston Rockets. But the Mavericks still have a chance at it. I mean, 15 seconds left. The Rockets really left the door open for the Mavericks to make a play. 15 seconds is a ton of time to try and make something happen. Of course, they'll dribble it out for a little bit. It looks like they're holding for the last shot with this game tied up. And with 2 seconds to go, Kobe gets open. He pulls it and it's good. Kobe Bryant with the buzzer beater. Wow. Kobe hits the biggest shot of the game winner. We hadn't really seen anything from him in the fourth quarter of OT, but what a shot from Kobe Bryant to win this game against the Houston Rockets. A huge play. How did he get that open? The Rockets fell apart there. The defense, what was going on? How do you lose track of Kobe with the game on the line? He hadn't even made a three up to that point, but he made the biggest one of the game, and now we're headed to a Game 7 between Kobe and MJ. What a shot, though, to keep the Mavericks season alive. I mean, they would have gone to OT and had another chance, but hey, a huge shot from Kobe there to win that one. And at the end of this one, it was kind of close, but ultimately the Rockets were able to pull it out. Michael Jordan gets the win, and wow, what a series. Hopefully we'll see some more battles between Kobe and MJ, because if this is any sign of what we're in store for in the future of this video, oh man, it's about to get crazy. But now Michael Jordan has to go up against Magic Johnson. And Kobe, he didn't have too good of luck against Magic. We'll see if MJ can do something different. It's tied up at 1 apiece. The Lakers take the lead. The Lakers are up 3-1. The Rockets do take a game, but ultimately, just like Kobe, Michael Jordan ends up seeing his season end in 6 games to Magic Johnson and the Los Angeles Lakers. But both of these guys are young and have done pretty well thus far in their young careers. No championships, but some playoff success nonetheless. We'll see if the Rockets can get Michael Jordan some more help on his roster. And really, I think for the Mavericks, it's just taking that next step as a team. They've shown that they can be a great regular season team, but they've just got to get it done in the playoffs. And the Rockets, they picked up Chuck Person and Detlef Schrempf. They've also got Kenny Carr. I mean, the depth looks a lot better for their team now. And you've got the duo of Mark Aguirre and Kobe Bryant in Dallas, along with some great role players around them. And that was a recipe for success this year for Dallas. They went 71-11, but Michael Jordan was the MVP of the league for the Houston Rockets. It's surprising to see that Kobe's team won 71 games, yet he wasn't named the MVP of the league. He actually didn't even make an All-NBA squad. Mark Aguirre did, but no Kobe Bryant. Surprising to see there, but hey, the Mavericks got the #1 seed and had great team success, and Kobe Bryant was good. The Rockets, they were good as well, but of course not as good as the 71-win Dallas Mavericks. They're taking on the 8th seeded Warriors in the first round. That should be an easy matchup for them, while the Rockets have a more competitive 4-5 matchup against the Sacramento Kings. If both teams can make it out of their first round matchups, we'll get another Kobe-MJ matchup. We've got a Game 5 winner-go-home situation between the Kings and Houston, so we'll see if Michael Jordan can win another closeout game. We saw him do it last year against Kobe and the Mavs, and this one was a close one, but again, Michael Jordan was able to get it done and move on to the second round. That means for the second year in a row, we've got Dallas versus Houston, and again, Kobe versus MJ. This is exactly what I'm here for. Game 1 goes to the Rockets. Game 2 goes to the Mavs. Game 3 also goes to Dallas. They're up 3-1, and they gentlemen sweep the Houston Rockets after losing to them last year. Another good effort for Michael Jordan, but it wasn't enough as the Dallas Mavericks move on to face the Portland Trail Blazers. This Blazers squad looks pretty solid, but the Mavs are the #1 seed. They're up 2-0. They're up 3-0, and Kobe Bryant has already made his first NBA Finals. He's facing a New York Knicks team that really doesn't compare to the team that he has in Dallas. Game 1 goes to Kobe. Game 2 goes to Kobe. Game 3, and it's over. The Mavericks sweep the finals, and Kobe Bryant at age 21 wins a championship and a finals MVP. What a start to Kobe Bryant's NBA career. Wow. Kobe is already a champion, while MJ is still trying to get there. I mean, to Kobe's credit, he did win a ring super young, so we'll have to see what's next for both of these guys. And in player progression, we were in for a big surprise. Mark Aguirre left the team. That means Kobe lost his right-hand man, his dynamic duo. he's gone. So now this is really Kobe's team, and he's going to have to take over. While for the Rockets, they were able to pick up Chuck Person, who's an 86 overall, a solid addition for the team. And MJ has another MVP season, over 32 points per game for Michael Jordan. Hakeem Olajuwon is the DPOY. Once again, it seems like he's winning that award year after year. But Mark Aguirre is now in Portland. What a loss for the Dallas Mavericks, and coming off of a championship. But maybe he wasn't a huge loss, because the Mavs, they won 64 games even without him. And now they're facing the 8-seeded Sonics, while the Rockets took a huge jump in the regular season, being the 2nd seed in the Western Conference, winning almost 60 games. And they've got a first-round matchup against the Sacramento Kings. And it looks like the Mavs are going to struggle against the Sonics. While the Rockets easily sweep their first-round opponent, the Mavericks are in a winner-go-home situation against the 8 seed. So maybe Kobe did need Mark Aguirre, or maybe not. Kobe was able to clutch this one out, winning by 20 points. A huge effort for Kobe to go ahead and move on to the second round against Portland, who has Mark Aguirre. So can Kobe get revenge on his former teammate who left after a championship season? While we've got a Magic versus Michael Jordan matchup in the second round as well. So some great matchups here, some great storylines in the second round. Ultimately, the Rockets get swept, while the Mavs and Blazers are a little more competitive, but the Mavs still lose in 6. The Lakers move on to win a championship, and Magic adds to his collection of rings. A good playoff effort from Kobe Bryant and also from Michael Jordan with 53 points in the final game of his season, but it wasn't enough. We didn't see either one of our guys even make the Western Conference Finals after Kobe was coming off an MVP season. And it's crazy because Kobe and MJ were both on the 1 and 2 seeded teams. So great regular seasons from both of their squads, but ultimately the playoff success just didn't really translate. No conference finals for either team. Here in the offseason, we don't see Michael Jordan increase in overall, and Kobe doesn't either. They're both at a 96, headed into another season. Kobe's got 3 years left on his deal, while MJ has 4. And Michael Jordan was once again named the MVP of the league. He's stacking up those awards. And David Robinson is a 6th man behind Hakeem, and they have Karl Malone? That is ridiculous. Their front court is crazy. Kobe was All-NBA first alongside MJ, but man, we might have to watch out for that Chicago Bulls team. Seeing how successful Kobe's been thus far makes me wonder, if Mark Aguirre stayed, how many rings would he have right now? The Mavericks are the 2 seed this season, while the Rockets are the 5 seed. And in the first round, the Mavs are facing the 7 seeded Sonics, while the Houston Rockets are facing the 4 seeded Portland Trailblazers, who have Mark Aguirre. I was just talking about him. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's get into these series. The Sonics are going to make it competitive against the Dallas Mavericks, and ultimately it heads to a winner-go-home Game 5. In this Game 5, both teams were fighting early on, and that really continued throughout most of the game, until the late third quarter, where the Mavericks were able to make some separation, and they held on to that, going ahead and winning the game. A kind of bad game from Kobe, only 17 points, but no player on the other team scored more than 14, so it was enough to get the job done. Now the Mavs have the Denver Nuggets, and the Houston Rockets have the Charlotte Hornets. So let's see if these guys can advance and go ahead and face off in the conference finals. That means that we'll at least see one of our guys in the finals, and both teams, it's looking like, are going to make it here. And the Hornets are going to fight a little bit, but ultimately the Rockets are able to get out of there. So we have a Mavs-Rockets conference finals. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant going at it for a chance to make the NBA finals and compete for a championship. The Rockets are up 2-1, but the Mavs make it 2-2. The Rockets take a pivotal Game 5 and ultimately win in 6. Michael Jordan is making his first NBA Finals appearance. Not a crazy performance in the closeout game, but Kobe didn't play that crazy either, and it was good enough for MJ to make the finals against the Bulls. I said we might have to watch out for them with their ridiculous front court, and here they are. They're up 2-0, a bad start for the Rockets. The Rockets are able to take a game, but with the Bulls up 3-1, it's not looking good. They go ahead and they gentleman sweep. I mean, that team is kind of unfair. They must have had some really good draft lottery luck to go ahead and build that super team there, but they might have some decisions to make because having like David Robinson coming off the bench is kind of crazy. Maybe they could look to trade him for somebody, but I doubt they'd do that in 2K. Players who are a super high overall don't really generally get traded by the CPU. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's get into the offseason, where the Rockets don't really see any major changes. They pretty much look the same, and I don't think we see any major changes for the Dallas Mavericks either. They do have some really good depth, though, heading into another season. At the end of the year, Kobe Bryant takes his turn. He actually gets an MVP. MJ had been getting quite a few of those. Hakeem is getting pretty much every single defensive player of the year. MJ's on the All-NBA first team alongside Kobe Bryant. MJ also makes all-defensive first team. It's been surprising that Kobe hasn't made any of those all-defensive teams. Maybe we'll see him make one later. The Rockets go 51-31 and make the third seed, while the Mavs are the first seed but get upset in the first round in just 4 games by the Minnesota Timberwolves. In this final game, the T-Wolves won by a point, and Kobe Bryant's season comes to a disappointing end, while the Rockets, their season is continuing. They're in the second round, going up against the Portland Trail Blazers. It's a competitive series as we head into Game 5 that the Blazers take, and ultimately, they ride that momentum into Game 6, and they're making the conference finals, while Michael Jordan has a disappointing end to his season as well, but losing to an 8 seed as the number 1 seed is pretty bad if you're Kobe Bryant, so that's pretty disappointing for Kobe. Surprising to see that he went out to the 8th seed as the number 1 seed. One thing I will say, though, it's been nice to see Kobe and MJ in the playoffs every single year competing. At least they have a chance at that championship because they're in there in the playoffs. It would have been kind of disappointing if one of the guys wasn't making it or both of them weren't making it, but with all the depth on this Mavs roster, Kobe should be able to make another run at a championship, and the same goes for Michael Jordan. His top 2 guys alongside him are really good. He's got 2 88 overall players playing with him, but ultimately, that wasn't really a recipe for huge success. Only 46 wins, but MJ was great individually, winning the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Kobe Bryant was on All-NBA second team, having another really good season. Both of these guys have been very efficient, and no all-defense again for Kobe. Surprising considering he was one of the best defenders at the guard spot of all time in his NBA career. In the first round, the Mavericks are able to sweep the Sacramento Kings, and the Rockets barely get out of there in 5 against the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Lakers are facing up against the Dallas Mavericks, so Magic versus Kobe, and the Rockets are facing up against the Blazers, so MJ versus Clyde Drexler. We saw that quite a few times in MJ's career in real life, but the Blazers are cooking MJ. He goes ahead and gets swept, while the Lakers and Mavs are going back and forth. Ultimately, it all comes down to this. We've got a Game 7 where Magic and Kobe are facing off. Ultimately, the game goes back and forth throughout the entirety of it. And by the fourth quarter, luckily, we've got a close one. I really wanted to see some gameplay with Kobe and Magic going at it, and we get exactly that. A 2-point game with less than a minute left. The Lakers do have the ball, so the Mavs are going to have to make a defensive play, but this game is still very much within reach for Dallas. They don't have to foul, they just have to get a stop and then look to get a bucket. Let's see if they can get that first part done here and go ahead and get a stop. I'd assume they put the ball in Magic's hands, but they give it to Barry Carroll, and he goes ahead and misses that one. So now Kobe has the ball in his hands, the Maverick star. Can he make another clutch play? Remember that buzzer beater we saw in that Game 6? That was absolutely crazy a couple seasons ago. Kobe's moving off the ball, still doesn't get it, but Rolando Blackman goes ahead and drains the 3. A huge shot there to go ahead and put the Dallas Mavericks up by a point. What a shot. Now the Lakers are the ones that need to make a big play. They're down by a point with their season on the line. I told y'all, all it took for the Mavericks was a stop and a bucket. And what did they do? They got a stop and not only a bucket, a three-pointer at that. And in this era's mode, guys don't take threes often, but we've seen some big threes from this Mavs team and when we've hopped in these games. Anyways, the Lakers get a great look from the three-point line. It doesn't drop. Magic is able to get the rebound. And now, I don't know why you're not putting the ball in Magic's hands, but sure, we'll just let the other guys cook. I mean, I'd want the ball in one of the best players of all time's hands, and that's exactly why, because there's the turnover, and this game could pretty much be wrapped. The Lakers are going to need a three-pointer if both of these free throws drop, and what a bad pass there. Things really took a turn for the worse for the Lakers in this one. Both free throws drop, and now I guess they don't have a timeout, so it's a full court heave. Okay, it almost went in, but ultimately the Dallas Mavericks are going to get out of here in 7. What a clutch game for the Mavs. They played really well defensively and offensively down the stretch of this one. Kobe Bryant having another great playoff run, and Magic Johnson with only 16 points in an elimination game and not even double-digit assists. Now we've got the Portland Trailblazers. They just took down Michael Jordan, but I'm sure Kobe's going to want to get revenge on Mark Aguirre, who went ahead and left his team. But the Blazers, they might just be too good. They take the first 3 games and ultimately gentlemen sweep Kobe Bryant and the Mavs. A disappointing end to a great season, especially with that Game 7 win. This was a really fun one. The Brooklyn Nets win the championship led by Scottie Pippen, and we're headed into an offseason where Kobe Bryant is a free agent, so this could be absolutely huge. The Mavericks could lose their franchise player, and Kobe could leave a team that he's been fairly successful with, especially in the regular season, and he also won a ring with them. Let's go ahead and let's see what happens. It looks like Kobe's not going back to Dallas. They're even giving him the most money and a no-trade clause, but ultimately, I guess that's not enough. It looks like he might be going to the Seattle Supersonics. Let's go ahead and let's simulate a couple days and see if that's where he decides to go. And yeah, that's exactly where he went. He's going to the Seattle Sonics. Hopefully, there's some guys on that roster that he can team up with so that he has some help on the team, because the Mavs, they really did have some great supporting players around Kobe Bryant, especially if Mark Aguirre hadn't left. And there's a look at Michael Jordan's roster. I was struggling a little bit to try and find the Supersonics roster. I was having like a brain fart moment, but there we go. That's what the team is looking like. Not great. I don't think it's better than the Mavs team, but Kobe will let you cook, man. Maybe you'll go ahead and be able to do your thing on this roster, but compared to the Mavs, I don't know. He probably shouldn't have left. But we'll see what Kobe can do with his new roster in Seattle. The end of Kobe's first season in Seattle is wrapped, and David Robinson is the MVP in Chicago. Shaquille O'Neal just entered the league, and David Robinson's also the DPOY. If they still have Hakeem, that defense would be ridiculous. Kobe makes All-NBA first team in his first year in Seattle, and Michael Jordan makes All-NBA first team as well with the Houston Rockets. Hakeem did end up going to Charlotte. I was about to say that defense would be crazy. The Rockets are the 1 seed, the Sonics are the 2 seeds. So it looks like Kobe leaving the Mavs didn't have a huge effect on his team's success. Or maybe it did, because they just lost to the 7th seed in the first round. Kobe Bryant, a solid playoff effort, more than solid, but ultimately it wasn't enough, and his season is over. Michael Jordan, though, y'all saw that? 48 points, averaging 40 in the first round. All that just to lose in the second round, which sucks. But man, a good run from Michael Jordan. Unfortunately, neither one of our guys made the conference finals this season, as David Robinson wins MVP, DPOY, and finals MVP in the same season. What a year for the Admiral. Let's go ahead and let's head to free agency, where Michael Jordan is going to become a free agent. Things are getting crazy in this video. MJ could be headed to a new team, and it looks like he will be going somewhere else because he's got the Timberwolves at the top of his list. Let's simulate a couple days and see if that's actually where he ends up. After a few days, he's still in the free agency pool, and now he doesn't have an offer from the Rockets or the Timberwolves. He just has an offer from the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know what happened there. I guess we'll see where he ends up, simulate a couple more days. We stop it here, and he is out of free agency, and he's with the Hawks. but Brad Daughtry went to the Supersonics, so Kobe Bryant is getting an elite center to play with at a 92 overall. Maybe I'm seeing the vision here for Kobe. He went ahead, joined a new team, had a solid first season, but was able to get some really great help after that first year. And the Rockets without MJ, it's going to be rough for them, man. But let's go ahead and let's take a look at this Atlanta Hawks roster. Michael Jordan is playing with an old Dominique Wilkins, and he also has Derek McKee. Not a bad roster, but again, he might have left for a worse team. And this duo of Kobe and Brad Daughtry is probably about to be crazy. Season number 1 in Atlanta was successful for MJ, but Kobe wins the MVP with the Seattle Supersonics. Hakeem wins the DPOY in Charlotte. He's been racking up those DPOYs. And year number 1 in Atlanta, MJ All-NBA first. Of course, Kobe's there as well because he's the MVP. And MJ's been making a ton of those all-defensive teams as well. The Pistons also had a lot of players on that all-defensive second team. Crazy. But let's go ahead and let's get to it. 55-27 for the Atlanta Hawks. And then for the Seattle Supersonics, it was another 1-seed effort. This time, though, our teams are in different conferences. So that's something new. We'll see if we can see a finals matchup between MJ and Kobe. Round number 2, Kobe Bryant is facing up against Magic Johnson, who's still a 94 overall, and the Los Angeles Lakers. While Michael Jordan, despite earning the number 1 seed, went out in the first round to the 8th seed. I think MJ and Kobe have both done that now. But Kobe is making a deep playoff run. He's in the conference finals here and is playing up against the Phoenix Suns. And the team doesn't look too crazy. We'll see if Kobe can get it done. The Suns are up 3-1, and okay, maybe Kobe can make the comeback. No, they're going to go ahead and lose to Phoenix. The season is over. I was thinking that Kobe was going to be able to win a ring alongside Brad Daughtry, but David Robinson, playing alongside Karl Malone, wins another NBA championship and a Finals MVP. We'll see if there's any roster changes coming up in the offseason for either one of these teams. One thing to watch out for with the Atlanta Hawks is that Dominique Wilkins is getting older. He was already starting to regress last season, so if he continues to get older and older, Mike, you might need to watch out, man. You might have to carry, but we'll go ahead and see what happens at player progression. Kobe Bryant and Brad Daughtry both go down in overall, but they're both pretty young, so maybe that was just a fluke regression, and yeah, Dominique Wilkins starting to drop off there. He's down to an 84 overall. But nonetheless, it was another successful season for both Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. David Robinson's in Orlando now, still winning MVPs. He's putting together a crazy resume, man. We're heading into yet another playoff run. Michael Jordan makes All-NBA first team. A good season for him, but Kobe on All-NBA second as Magic takes his spot on the All-NBA first team. We've seen Kobe on All-NBA first year after year now at this point, but his Sonics are still the number 1 seed, while the Atlanta Hawks are the number 5 seed out east. Let's go ahead and let's see what happens. Both teams make it out of their round 1 matchup, winning 3-1, and the Hawks lose in the second round in a gentleman's sweep, while the Sonics gentlemen sweep their opponent. A disappointing end of the season again for Michael Jordan. I don't know, man. He hasn't had as much help as Kobe, but also the playoff success just hasn't been there for either one of them. Kobe won 1 ring early, and it looks like he's getting back to the finals now, so maybe I spoke too soon. Let's go ahead and let's see if Kobe Bryant can win his second NBA championship going up against David Robinson and the Orlando Magic. It's not looking good so far. Okay, it's really not looking good. They go ahead and they sweep Kobe and the Sonics. Wow, David Robinson is having a legendary career in this one. But Kobe, another loss here, another disappointing end of the season. Both of these guys haven't won as many rings as I anticipated. Remember, they were drafted in 1984 and we're in 1995 at this point. I would have expected these guys to at least have 3-4 rings between both of them. I don't know, man. We'll go ahead and we'll see if things change this offseason, if anybody gets some big pickups for their team. I didn't even know Kobe was a free agent. It looks like he has left the Seattle Supersonics. MJ is still with the Hawks, but Where did Kobe Bryant go? It felt like he wasn't with the Sonics for too long, but I guess his contract was up. Maybe he had a player option or something, and he's on to his next team. Let's go ahead and let's check around the league. Let's see where Kobe Bryant is at. We'll go to all players because Kobe's one of the best players. He is the best player in the league right now, actually, and he's with the Clippers. And this Clippers team, it looks pretty good. They got Chuck Person, Jason Kidd, Ben Baker. This team is nice. I mean, Kobe joined a roster that was really good. So we'll go ahead and we'll see what he can do on this new team. Michael Jordan's team, though, I don't know if it's going to cut it, man. David Robinson is just crazy, bro. Another MVP, a DPOY for David. He's going crazy. MJ's on All-NBA first team with the Hawks. Jason Kidd makes All-NBA first team over Kobe. So you've got two All-NBA guards on your roster there in LA for the Clippers. So, wow. This team is really good. 64-18. And also the Hawks were able to make it to the second seed. Oh my goodness, the Clippers almost lost in the first round, but both teams do advance out of the first, and they also make it out of the second round. So now we've got the Timberwolves versus the Clippers here in the conference finals. Also, I kind of just went right past the fact that MJ's Hawks made a 3-1 comeback against the Cavs to make the conference finals, but hey, they're here. We'll see how it goes. I was simulating round, and it kind of went by too fast, but the Clippers, they're up 3-1 in their series, while the Hawks, they get swept. So now we've got a Magic Clippers finals. So Kobe is going to be facing David Robinson once again. David Robinson's just on a generational run now. Let's go ahead and let's see if the Clippers can take down this Magic team. Up 2-0, up 3-0. Kobe, he's going to get revenge on David Robinson. It looks like, okay, they take a couple games, but ultimately they get out of there. A 6-game series win for Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Clippers. That means that Kobe now has 2 NBA championships on his resume to go along with 2 of his MVPs. And while Michael Jordan, I think, has more MVPs, Kobe's got the chips over MJ. Let's go ahead and let's see if any changes happen this offseason for either team. I think that MJ needs some more help there in Atlanta, or maybe he needs to leave. I'm not sure if he's a free agent, but if he is, he needs to get out of there, man, because the Hawks, it's just not cutting it. Michael Jordan has yet to win an NBA championship. By 1996, he would have, like 4 or 5 rings by now? And he has yet to win one in this simulation. Jason Kidd is up to a 92. Kobe's got a crazy backcourt duo, and it looks like MJ has left. I mean, of course, because Isaiah Thomas joined the team. MJ was like, all right, bro, I got to get out of here. But yeah, MJ has bolted for his next team. He is on the Lakers. So the battle of LA, the Clippers versus Lakers. We've got Kobe versus Jordan, and MJ and Magic are teaming up. Okay, things just got crazy. I can't wait for these playoffs. These guys are back in the same conference, which probably increases the chances of them facing off. Also, Vin Baker just won the MVP for the Clippers, and they have 92 overall Jason Kidd, and also Kobe Bryant. This is ridiculous. Kobe has a super team in LA with the Clippers. 2 All-NBA first-team players on his team, not even including him. He didn't even make All-NBA this season, which is crazy. But I don't know what's going on, man. I'm sure that, yeah, they're the number 1 seed. No kidding. They've got a crazy roster. 61-21 on the season. Kobe had a good year, but I guess his teammates just overshadowed him. 47-35 for the Lakers. If the Lakers make it out of the first, they'll face the Clippers, but they don't. I wanted to see the matchup between MJ and Kobe. Clippers, Lakers, MJ versus Kobe would have been crazy, but unfortunately, we do not see that one. And MJ's numbers really dipped in the playoffs, a down playoffs for him, and Magic just isn't scoring a ton at this point in his career. Now, the Clippers are facing up against the Phoenix Suns. I don't think the Clippers should have any comp in the league. They go ahead and they beat the Suns in 6. Now they're facing up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And again, this Timberwolves team is cool, I guess, but this Clippers team is ridiculous. Vin Baker won the MVP, and you've also got Jason Kidd and Kobe. Now they're facing the Pistons in the finals. And again, the Pistons have a fine roster, but Really? The Clippers should win. Oh, okay, never mind. I simulated around. I was way too confident. The Pistons, gentlemen, sweep the Clippers. Crazy, man. And Kobe had a good playoffs, but ultimately his really good roster goes down in the finals to Shawn Kemp and the Pistons. A disappointing end to their season for sure, because with that roster, they should have most definitely won the chip. It'll be interesting to see if the Clippers can keep this team together, though, considering like the salary cap and all that, because they have an absolute super team. We'll see if any changes happen for them this offseason. And yeah, the Clippers do go out and pick up Karl Malone, but they lost Vin Baker, and Vin Baker was the MVP. And then the Lakers, they pick up Shawn Kemp. Kemp just won the chip with the Pistons, and now he's teaming up with MJ and Magic Johnson. Magic is getting much older, and the Clippers did pick up an older Karl Malone, but this is getting crazy, man. A lot of player movement. And now Jason Kidd is winning the MVP for the Clippers. The Clippers just have a ton of MVPs, and with an MVP Jason Kidd and Kobe Bryant on your roster, they should still most definitely be competing. And I would expect to see Kobe on All-NBA. Michael Jordan made All-NBA second alongside Shawn Kemp. So even though MJ's starting to regress, he's still making those All-NBA teams. Kobe is on All-NBA third. His numbers look good. I feel like maybe he should be on higher All-NBA teams, but it is what it is, I guess. Let's go ahead and let's get to the playoffs, where we could see an MJ versus Kobe second round matchup. Lakers Clippers, Kobe versus MJ. Let's see if it can happen. It does. Okay, this is what I'm here for, man. Both teams were really good in the regular season. The Lakers won over 50 games. The Clippers won over 60. And they both have some really good rosters. So I think we're in for a very interesting series. The Clippers take game one. The Lakers take game two. Okay, back and forth. Come on. The Clippers take game three. Oh, okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Come on, game seven. We've got a game seven. Lakers Clippers here. This is getting wild, man. MJ versus Kobe. I feel like we haven't seen them face off in quite some time, but the Clippers are dominating in this game seven, which is really disappointing. I wanted to see a more close game, and Michael Jordan only 19 points in this one. That's around what he was averaging, but I would have liked to see more in an elimination game from MJ. Jason Kidd, a really good game. Kobe with only 17. He didn't even shoot that much. And Drazen Petrovic has been really good for the Los Angeles Clippers. So good stuff from him. And now Kobe Bryant is moving on to the conference finals. They're facing up against the Sacramento Kings, who have Patrick Ewing on the team. We'll see if the Clippers can get past them. I feel like the Clippers have a better roster. Game one goes to the Clippers. Game two goes to the Kings. Game three goes to the Clippers. Game four goes to the Clippers. It looks like they're going to the finals. They might be finals bound. Okay, they might blow it 3-1. Let's go ahead and let's see. Game seven here. Don't blow it 3-1, Kobe. Oh, okay, they're locked. The Clippers are locked in, bro. They went ahead and absolutely cooked the Kings in this game seven. It's over. They win by 31 points. Karl Malone drops 31. Kobe Bryant with 29 and also 10 assists. 10 assists along with 15 points from Jason Kidd. Good stuff from the Clippers there as they move on to the finals to face the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Bucks don't look that crazy. Let's see what happens. Game one goes to the Clippers. Game two, yeah. Oh, they're cooking. They're cooking. It's a sweep. And Jason Kidd is the finals MVP as Kobe wins ring number 3. And Michael Jordan has yet to win a championship. We're in the 1998 offseason. MJ doesn't have a single chip. He would have 6 by now in real life, but 0 in this simulation. And in free agency, something super surprising happens. Kobe Bryant leaves the champion Clippers for a new team. I don't know why, but he did. And Michael Jordan continues to regress. He's only an 88 overall now. Let's go ahead and let's see where Kobe Bryant went. He went to the Utah Jazz. Let's see who they have on their team. Was there a good reason for Kobe to leave the Clippers for this team? Not really. He was playing alongside Jason Kidd. He had a good roster, and he decided to leave for a Utah team that doesn't even look that crazy. But whatever, let's go ahead and let's get to another playoffs. We could have seen Kobe win quite a few rings if he stayed with the Clippers. There's Jason Kidd, All-NBA first team. Kobe, All-NBA second team. Is MJ even going to make All-NBA? No, he doesn't. He doesn't even make All-Defense. MJ's starting to get older, man. The age is showing, MJ, but 51 wins is still really good. So we'll see if they can make a playoff run despite the fact that MJ's getting older. And it looks like the Lakers are going to lose in the first round in 5 games. Kobe's going to move on with the Utah Jazz. But, man, MJ, the numbers are dropping, bro. It might be close to MJ's retirement. And by the way, once one of them retires, I will end the video. So if Michael Jordan retires, that'll be wraps, and we'll see how both the guys did. We'll look at the rings and the stats and all that. And it looks like the Jazz are getting cooked here. They go ahead and get swept by the Denver Nuggets. The Clippers are in the conference finals. They made the finals and lost to Vin Baker, their previous MVP. But Kobe should have just stayed with the Clippers. They made the finals without him. Kobe should have just stayed there. He probably would have won another chip. But let's go ahead and let's get to player progression, where we might see Michael Jordan really start to fall off. Remember, Kobe Bryant did enter the league much younger than Michael Jordan did, so that's why we're seeing MJ start to regress earlier, as he's just older, Let's go ahead and let's check it out, though. Kobe's down to a 94 at the age of 32. But as I said, man, Michael Jordan, the age is really showing. He is an 84 at 36 years old. He's down 4 overalls. MJ might be nearing retirement. Let's go ahead and let's get to the postseason. Kevin Garnett is the MVP of the league. I think we've seen him win a couple of these at this point. DPOY is also KG. There's been some dominant bigs in this simulation. David Robinson, there he is. He's still hooping. There's also Jason Kidd, Kobe's former teammate. Kobe's on All-NBA third team here. Even his numbers are starting to go down as he gets a little bit older. And man, the Jazz were terrible. 32-50. Kobe and the Lakers did make the playoffs. 45-37. So we'll see if they can make some noise. And no, they lose in round 1 to the Clippers. Kobe really should have stayed with the Clippers, man. But ultimately, Mike had a pretty rough playoff run. It might be time for him to call it a career. The Spurs win a chip led by Tim Duncan. I guess the Spurs still drafted him, which is crazy. And in player retirement, Michael Jordan is nowhere to be found, so it looks like he's going to keep it pushing for at least another season. But I'm expecting to see a little bit of a fall off in player progression here from Mike, but well, we'll see, man. Man, it's crazy, though. You see how these guys' overalls go down? Think about the stuff LeBron James is doing at 38. I mean, I know people talk about it all the time, but just think about that, man. And MJ is down to an 80 overall at 37. Kobe's down to a 91 at 33. At the end of the season, man, KG's run of dominance is here. He's absolutely cooking. This might be 3 straight MVPs for him, so hey, he's going crazy. And Jason Terry is most improved player. Remember when Bron dunked on him? Anyways, let's go ahead and let's see. Is Kobe even All-NBA anymore? Nah, Kobe isn't even All-NBA. That's crazy. And the Utah Jazz, they're not in the playoffs. Neither are the Lakers. What a disappointing season. MJ's numbers are down so bad. I mean, Kobe's still hooping, but man, MJ's numbers are so far down. This sucks to see. And the Hawks, MJ's former team, win the championship with David Robinson. And at this point, MJ is calling it a career. A good career, but no championships. 4 MVP awards, a DPOY, a bunch of all defensive first teams, a bunch of All-NBA first teams. A really good career for Michael Jordan. And when we check out the career stats, over 26 points per game. So great stuff from MJ. And let's also see what Kobe Bryant did. Kobe, he had similar scoring averages. He was around 26 points per game. But Kobe did get 3 rings to Mike's 0. Overall, though, Mike did have more accolades. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Have a great day. Be sure to like and subscribe.